Hello you guys, it has officially been 2 months on Tirzepatide partnered with WeightCare, and I've lost a total of 14.2 pounds. So I feel like my progress is going really well. I'm going to put some progress body updates right here so you guys can see what things are looking like. I feel good. I feel like I'm starting to just look a little bit more snatched. I feel like my clothes are starting to fit better. I just feel more comfortable in my skin, less inflamed, especially around my belly. I'm feeling more energy, and so overall I've been having a really good experience. I was so nervous to start this medication for the longest time because of the effects, and so concerned about what it would do to my body, if I would regret it. If you've watched my other updates, then you know at first, month 1, I had a lot of extreme fatigue, a little bit of nausea, a little bit of diarrhea, TMI, but this is an update, so it is what it is. I will be happy to report though that I have not had any fatigue anymore. That extreme fatigue, I have not experienced it again, so I'm super happy about that. And I haven't really had too much nausea or too much diarrhea. I've noticed the nausea I mainly have on the day of my shot. Diarrhea only happens if I eat something super greasy or super heavy. I literally have to run to the bathroom, so that kind of keeps me away from choosing those foods. I just have noticed such a big difference in my relationship with food. I don't feel like I need carbs every single second of every single day. One of the biggest differences that I've noticed is that I have not had a binge. I made a short about this and somebody asked me what a binge is, and basically it's this period of time in which you uncontrollably eat until you're uncomfortably full. And it almost feels like, when you're in the moment, it almost feels like you're in a little bit of a manic episode, like you're just like consuming food without even realizing what you're doing until you're super stuffed and you're in pain and you're uncomfortable. Some people take it a step further as far as binge eating disorder, and they go and get all that stuff out, if you know what I'm saying. But basically, yes, I have not had a binge in 2 months, which is amazing. Being 2 months binge free, it feels a little bit surreal because that has been such a big part of my life. Being on a calorie deficit and then having that break of a binge and that constant cycle. Being binge free has been so good for my mental health because binges bring a lot of shame, they bring a lot of guilt. Shot is really helping with my food noise, with making me fuller faster. I feel like I can obviously hear and notice my fullness cues, whereas before it's kind of like it was on mute. Like I couldn't really tell until it was way past the point. And I've just been so much more mindful. Even when I'm serving my plate, I just give myself a smaller portion because I know that I'm gonna get full anyways. So those are the habits that I'm trying to build while I'm on this Tirzepatide journey, is eating smaller portions, sticking to water only, tracking my calories, tracking my protein so that I still choose protein heavy meals. So that way when I'm no longer on the shot, whenever I reach my goal, I'm able to maintain and still bring in those good habits with me to continue my progress. One thing that I have struggled with in my personal life since being on the shot is that I don't eat the same as the people around me. And so when we go out to eat, or if we do a buffet, like it's just not worth it for me because number 1, I get full fast, and number 2 is I'm not gonna force myself to overeat because I don't want to feel uncomfortable, and also I want to lose weight. Like the reason that I'm doing this shot is to lose weight and is for that extra boost of health. So if I am still eating the same as I was before, then what's even the point of the shot? You know what I'm saying? It's, to me, the shot is supposed to be used as a tool to make things a little bit easier, so that way it's easier to make the good choices, to eat less. If I were to be still eating how I was normally eating before, then I wouldn't be seeing progress. And that's just what it is, because this shot is not magic. It does help a lot. It helps so much, especially if you're like me, where you just kind of have a food addiction and it's really hard for you to say no, and you really just need that extra help to curb your appetite and to get fuller faster, so that way you're not just overeating all the time because that's what you're used to. So it has been affecting my social life a little bit because I'm just not eating as much as those around me, and that's something that we love to do together, is eat. But I am trying to reshape my identity around food. I don't want to be that person that always needs to have good food in order to have a good time. I'm trying to reframe my mindset around food and about it being pleasurable and not having to be pleasurable every single time. And the GLP-1 is really helping me out with that. Another quote-unquote negative I wouldn't even consider this a negative, but I have to mention it because it's been such a shock to me, is coffee. Since I started the GLP-1, I just haven't had an interest in coffee, and I'm a huge iced coffee girly. I love iced coffee. I love going out for iced coffee. I love making it at home. And since starting the GLP-1, I just don't have an interest in it, and it's really strange. And so I looked it up, and apparently it is a thing for people that start on a GLP-1 medication. Something about the way that things release in your stomach, that the caffeine hits you harder, and people just have less interest in it, and that totally has happened to me. I wouldn't say it's a complete negative because I was kind of overdoing it on the caffeine. You know, when you're a mom, when you got a lot going on, you just like feel like I need energy, and so caffeine is that one thing to go to. So it's been a little bit nice to have that break. I have noticed that my tolerance for caffeine has lowered, and yeah, I just don't really crave it or desire it as much. I am happy with my progress so far. I feel like 14 pounds is awesome. In my mind, I want to be like, I wish I would have lost 10 pounds each month, so having like 20-pound total weight loss. But I know that I'm tracking my calories, I'm making sure that I eat enough, and that was one of my concerns before starting a GLP-1, is because I have noticed that some people almost take it too far, or they get so high up in dose that they have zero interest in food. And so I've noticed when people take it to the extreme and they don't eat, or they eat as little as possible because they're trying to get quick results, I feel like that's when you can begin to look sickly. I feel like that's whenever you can begin to lose your hair because you're not eating nutrients, you're not eating enough. Anytime you do something too extreme, you're gonna have more effects, and that's something that I've been super intentional about with the GLP-1, is making sure that I do eat enough, making sure that I eat enough protein. And that's why I've also started strength training, just because I have heard some things about the Tirzepatide and losing muscle mass, and so I'm like, you know what, let me get on this strength training. Even if it's baby steps, I'm gonna do something just to help build and preserve muscle, because I am eating enough protein. So in theory, I should at least be maintaining my muscle, and hopefully eventually soon growing my muscle. But overall, guys, I am really happy that I decided to take the GLP-1. I feel like it's really helping me out a lot, and I feel like it really helps that my mindset was already weight loss focused before I did the GLP-1, and I'm also not just relying only on the shot. I am making sure that I'm doing my part to see the most progress, and also to do this in the healthiest way. Thank you guys so much for watching my update. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to stay continued on with this journey. My goal weight is 125 pounds. Will I get there? I don't know. My family thinks I'm crazy. I'm 5'2" for reference, because I feel like that matters when you talk about weight, and so we'll see how things go. But definitely I want to get like under the 200s. I'm 23 pounds away from being under 200 pounds, so I'm super happy, super excited about that. I know I'm gonna get there, and I'm trusting the process. I'm doing what I can, and that's all I can do. If you're like me and you've been considering the GLP-1, you're not sure if you want to do it, you're in your research phase, I highly recommend that you check out WeightCare. I will have their link in the description box below, as well as my coupon code Monique200 if you decide to pull the trigger and place your order. They are super supportive. I love their transparency. Everything is on their website, and so I highly recommend you guys check them out. If you do, let me know in the comment section down below. Their process is super easy, super convenient. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.